All right, got some mail in today. Today we're going to be putting on the cold side intercooler pipe on my 2013 6.7 Powerstroke. This is a pretty common problem that these Powerstrokes have. My original one blew out while I was towing a boat, so we went to Rudy's Diesel and got their upgraded kit, and today we're going to put it on and show you how we do it. All right, let's have a look, see what we got in here. So the kit should have everything you need. That was one of the reasons I went with them. All right, here's the actual aluminum pipe portion that's got. First part we're pulling out is your metal, full, machine metal portion. And right here you can see it's got the porthole for your sensor. That's already machined out and ready for you. Right, and then it's going to come with 4 hose clamps. You've got 2 sections of this silicone hose that's supposed to I think it's like 400 psi. Don't quote me on that if I'm wrong. And here's one section of that right now. You look and see it's pretty serious stuff. And they've already kind of got like a little O-ring in there for you. All right, this is the first section of that silicone hose. And you can see the inside diameter is about 2 3/4 inches, maybe just a hair more. And you get that? Okay, one nice thing is they've got your O-ring right here for you. And I think this is called a C-clip, I believe. But they've got this. There's one that is already on there, but if you're like me and yours blew up, all that stuff is gone. So they go ahead and give you these with your kit, and not everybody does that, so that's really nice. One more smaller section. You can see how this one on this side, it's about 2 3/4 again, and this side it's a little bigger. What was this? Yeah, and next down. All right, and the last piece is your other metal portion, which is going to go over your throttle valve. All right, this is your sensor. You're going to have it on there already. Make sure you take this off before you just throw everything away if yours is already broken. Be careful with these clips. So when you insert it, one side's a little bigger, one side's a little smaller. That's how you're gonna know where to put it in. And then there's this little ridge right here, and this is gonna go over it and snap down, and that's what's gonna hold it in place. So pretty cut and dry. All right, it's pretty easy. You might have to torque on it a little bit, but just be really careful not to break it. And it's going to go up over this ridge until it snaps down in place, and it's a really, really nice tight fit. There shouldn't be any air escaping out of there, so far so good with the Rudy's Diesel. All right, so this is just kind of how everything's going to be laid out. It's going to be hard to see in the truck, so it's just to give you an idea of how it's going to go. So we're going to start the intercooler. You got your 2 hose clamps right here. You're going to need a 10 mil socket to get it. And then it goes up here to your tubing. Right here we haven't put it in yet, but this is where your sensor is going to be. And then 2 more hose clamps next up to the portion that's going to connect to your throttle body. And they've got your O-ring right here, which is going to insert into this groove. And then your C-clip, and it fits into these grooves, and that's going to attach it in there. And in theory, that is how it's going to go. And now we're actually going to go in there and put it in. On the truck currently, my old one pretty much tore apart. I've already taken all that out. I'll kind of run you through what was there and how to take it out, but it's pretty simple. Start disconnecting things until they come out. So all you're going to need for this job, it's pretty minimal tool-wise. You're going to need a little 8mm socket, and that's to get your power steering reservoir off. And then everything else that comes with the kit is just 10mm. So I've got a pretty long extension here I used to get down to the bottom hose clamp that was attaching to the intercooler itself. And other than that, just a small wrench with a 10mm deep socket. You're going to need a deep socket just because of the length of the screws or all the bolts on the hose clamp. So that's it, an 8mm and a 10mm and some extensions. Oh. And one thing you may not have to use, but we did, is to get the metal portion on that connected to the fuel body. We used a dead blow hammer, not a metal hammer, but just to tap it on there. And we also used a little bit of window cleaner just to lubricate it and lubricate that O-ring. So you may not have to use it, but if you do, no worries. It's a tight fit, so you might need a little extra force to get it on there. So this side is what's going to go on your intercooler, and you can see, in fact, there's a sort of O-ring they already kind of have mounted in there that goes on to your little groove here. So you can see the difference between that side and the other. No groove right there. That's what's going to go to your piping they provide you with, and this side here with the groove is going to go on your intercooler. So here we've got our power steering fluid reservoir. It normally mounts, you can see this little bracket it mounts into right here. It's kind of in the way. You can see I got it zip tied and just held off to the side just so I don't have to have anybody here standing over me holding it. So that'll make this a little easier. All right, let's see if she goes on there. Try and keep her down to the end. Give her a little bit of room. All right. All right. I think that's it. Now we just gotta tighten it up. All right, so this is the metal fitting that's gonna go on your throttle body here. And they give you an O-ring. It's already in there. I just put it in, but they give it to you separately. Okay, there's your O-ring. Fits in there nicely. And then this is your quick detach clip that comes with it too. So this is how that's gonna clip in and secure everything. You can see how they fit down in these grooves. It should fit pretty flush. Hey-o! I'll haul right to your room. I think we got her. Oh yeah, old son. So what we did is we took some glass cleaner and sprayed on the outside of the throttle body and then just rubbed it on that O-ring to lubricate a little bit, and that, that should evaporate probably by the time we're getting it done. So with that and a double hammer, something not metal so you're not going to damage any of these edges, and just some ginger taps, she's right in place. You got a nice tight fit, so we're looking good so far. Now we got to connect this middle portion, get this guy back on here. So all your hose clamps are the same except for this guy. You got one that's a little larger for this necked up version, which goes on the portion that's locked in your throttle body. So when you're doing this, do your best to put this in a place you're gonna be able to get to it. I initially was trying to have it on this side, and this hose is so close as it is, that really wasn't working out too hot. So this feels a lot better over here. Just keep working it on there until it's nice and even. We're just getting enough of this on here. A little glass cleaner. We'll lube things up. Speed along this process. All right, let's give her a go. I don't have anything tightened down right now because I'm not sure of my angles. So these could move, and that's why I haven't tightened anything. But these, like as we said earlier, these clamps are already pretty tight as they are. So it's all holding in place pretty well. So let's try this. All right, this guy's in there nice and easy. Oh, and then we just pivot. Oh, okay, and we disconnected the bottom. But that's okay. We can get that back on. All these are 10 mils. You're going to need a deep socket just because of the length of your hose clamps, or the and then snake her down in there. Be checking to make sure it's still on the metal portion of the intercooler. We'll go ahead and tighten this guy on. And try and keep everything as even as possible. this is how many threads I had left after I got done tightening it for this front. And again, this is your larger hose clamp that goes up to this necked up portion. But anyway, that's about how much I tightened it. And these are all pretty tight when we started. You remember they were backed out all the way to here, but that's about how much thread is left once I got done tightening it. Just for a little reference about how hard I'm turning it. And it's moving, but you got a crank on her. So I feel like we got a good seal there. Good seal there. Now all that's left is this guy. Really useful ratcheting end wrench to get down these tight spaces. And then this one's going to take a little bit of time. There's not a lot of room in there. Alright, I had a zip tie here to hold the power steering fluid reservoir. Just kind of up and out of the way. You'll see this is the slot it fits into. So now that everything's all put back together, we're going to put this back where it goes. You can see this kind of, what is that? I guess a trapezoid maybe? Trapezoid that fits down in here. And it fits in there. Boom. You've got one little bolt that holds it in. Okay, I've got an 8mm socket with a little extension here just to clear it from all this. And make sure it's down into that little trapezoid slides in, and that's what holds it. Then take your 8mm socket, tighten this up just like it was. And this is your sensor that we put in earlier. This is the plug that goes into it, but it should be facing straight up like this where you can get to it. And just like any plug. Oh, alright, should snap in there. Everything's good and tight and secure. So this was the full installation of the cold side intercooler pipe from Rudy's Diesel. I scratched her up a little right here, but other than that, you can see it's real nice black powder coating. They have, I think, one other color option, but the installation was pretty easy. I am by no means a mechanic. I'm just a guy who bought a diesel and has to fix stuff. So if I can do it, anybody can. But again, this was pretty easy. Now let's go fire her up and see if we're holding good pressure and make sure we got everything plugged in right. And this was the install for the Rudy's Diesel intercooler cold side pipe. So it was a pretty easy install, and we're going to go run it and see that everything runs right. But it went in pretty easy, and yeah, let's go run it.